Last week, you saw Camille, Elliot and myself bring the new project boat Second Chance from North Kilworth to Foxton on a bit of a test run. This week, we hope to take her from Foxton, down through the Watford Flight, through Braunston, up the Oxford Canal and onto the Coventry Canal, and then hopefully all the way to Fazely without any issues. And this week I've roped in an old school friend of mine, Parish, I've known since I was 3 years old, as hired muscle, and Kevin, a friend of mine from the Philippines, who's a retired marine engineer, just in case we do have any issues. And we could not have got off to a better start on the first day. Glorious weather, superb sunshine, a few beers, and then of course a bit of sustenance with a lovely barbecue at the end of day one. Superb. Alright, well yesterday, because of the crick thing looming, I think I might have mentioned yesterday, but I'm a bit bleary. A couple mentioned to us that it was chock-a-block, double abreast mooring all the way through, so we saw this nice little spot and we had a little barbecue last night. It's not as sunny today. We were expecting this. This is normal UK weather service has been resumed. So now we want to get to Watford Flight, get down the Watford Flight and get to Braunston today. That's just the mission. So it should be the shortest of the 4 days that we're going to be cruising. But yeah, it's like a school outing. There's 3 lads all camped out in there. The water's not working. We can't get the water pump working in. We're still working on that. Kev says he might have an idea. So we've been using our water source that I sourced from Temu for our water needs. It's probably a good job Camille's not with us. We're all going to be a bit smelly in about 4 days. All right, off we go. And we're off. The lads are down there tidying up all the copious beer bottles and preparing coffee and breakfast for us this morning. Yeah, it was a lovely night last night. Nice barbecue. Dodge these trees. Nice barbecue. Old friend from yesteryear, Parish, who I've known since I was 51 years, and Kevin, who are old neighbour from the Philippines, who's become a very good friend of ours over the last few years. So it's quite a nice meeting of worlds. They'd never met, but they're sleeping on the floor on a couch together, so they're getting acquainted really quickly. Sorry Shilpa, but he's sleeping with another man tonight. So yeah, hopefully we'll be down the Watford Flight in a matter of a few hours. Slowly passing through what is a chock-a-block canal outside the Crick Boat Show. We may go to this next year. I kind of fancy having a look-see, but this year, got to keep moving. Now I've got Parish doing the locks there. He's a virgin. This is his first lock he's ever done. So it's quite nice because he's got help here. The volunteers are always super helpful and informative. So yeah, it's going well so far. Alright, so down the Watford Flight now. We're actually ahead of time, even though we stopped a little earlier yesterday. But I'm still getting used to this boat. Bringing a bigger boat into the locks, as much as I've been doing it for 4 years now on the other 2 boats, is totally different. The momentum that it's got. I never used to have to use the reverse on the other 2 boats because they're so small and light that you can stop them very easily. This is a bigger, heavier boat, so the momentum it carries. So yeah, I'm having to use the reverse as braking, and I'm super conscious of the silt, which I never used to worry about too much on the other boats because they were so small, they were never going to be anywhere close to the silt. But yeah, it's all good. Nice to see Paz enjoying himself. This is actually quite good for Parish. He's never done any locks before. He's going to have to do some without any volunteers as we go down to Fazely. There'll be a few that aren't manned. So this is actually quite good. And they're always really good, the volunteers, in imparting their knowledge about how to use the locks. As simple as it may seem, it's also quite easy to do things wrong. He's a bright lad.
28 kilograms.
28 kilograms, Paz. You wouldn't carry the doo-doo though, would you? No. Doo-doo was 20 kilograms. Water was 28. You didn't want to do the doo-doo. Penance.
Oh, shit.
We've got a long journey tomorrow, and even though it's only 10 minutes up the road for the waste, I'm probably going to wake up early and just crack on, and it will save us 20 minutes of mooring up and filling up and emptying and everything else. And Paz didn't want to carry 20 kilograms of his wee, and a lot of it was his wee. So it's true. So now he's going to have to carry 28 kilograms of water. And he's moaning, but he could have carried 20 kilograms of wee. So do the math. At this point, I should add, I used to copy all of Parish's homework when we were at school. And the fact that he can't make the calculation that 28 kilograms of water... No. 28 kilograms worth of water weighs more than 20 kilograms of wee. It was the wee that scared him. Or maybe, as he did get a B in math, maybe it was the math that failed him. I don't know. So I guess the very least I could do is reward these two reprobates with a reward for all the hard work that's been done. And to be honest with you, I'm glad we did it this way. It's been fun, eh? Yeah. Paz hasn't done very much, but you know, I'll give a report back to his wife later. Anyway, all good. Let's get some tweet. Right, day 3 and we're off, leaving Braunston. Lovely meal in the Admiral Nelson yesterday, and more than a few beers. So today's a long day, the longest of all the days, and I'm hoping that we'll make Hawkesbury, but they reckon it's 10 hours, and we might have a short stop on the way, so coffee to begin with, I think, and then more coffee. But as many times as I've done this stretch back and forth on both Badger and Signet, this feels totally different. Bigger boat, different crew, possibly more pubs. Yeah, it's good. There, day 3 update. I've been abandoned on my own in the rain at the back of the boat while they warm themselves drinking warm coffee, dry on the inside. Now, to be fair, Paz has been out here. He's even risked getting his hair wet with me out here and to fetch me a jacket. And he made breakfast. A lovely man. Well, you wouldn't know it, but we've just been through a rainstorm on day 3, and the whole gang is here. Marine engineer, muscles, and the brains of the outfit, which is worrying really. But yeah, we're doing all right so far. We're now on our way to hopefully Hawkesbury Junction. We're going to hit Hillmorton Locks in a short while. It is a long day today because we want to make it. It doesn't have to be a long day, but we want to make it so we've got time to go to the pub, which is, we have our priorities straight. Touch wood, engine and the boat is performing within expectations, and it's looking likely, touch wood, that we will make Fazely on time. Yeah, it's all a bit kind of worrying though, because every unfamiliar noise with the boat, or at night time as well, I always think something's wrong because you get familiar with the creaks and groans and chugs of your boat, and now this is a completely new boat. It's all unfamiliar, but I'm all learning, big learning curve. And I've had to introduce Boat Life to these two, which has been quite good.
We've got water now.
Oh, and we have water. Yes, thanks to Kevin. We did everything we could. We isolated everything. We figured out all the weird electric. I have to show you the electrics later. It's a bizarre system of different inverters and redundancies. But the DC should just be the DC with obviously fuses to it. Everything works except for the water pump. And the water pump looked brand new, so we thought, shouldn't be the water pump. Checked the fuses, checked everything else. So as you backtrack, it had to be the power to it. But like I said, the whole DC system was working. So we Frankensteined a bit of wire from something else, bypassed it from a 12 volt source, and lo and behold, the water's working. So we all got to shower last night, so we're all a little less smelly today. So, well, except for Paz. So yeah, we can wash tonight as well, which is glorious, because 3 dudes on a boat for 4 nights. Yeah, not good. All right, we're going to power on a little bit.
Eased off a bit. Let's let it cool down for a while and then.
All right, well, this is why we brought Kevin along. His mechanical engineering skills far exceed my non-existent ones. And we've blown a hose. The water coolant hose has blown. Nothing massively serious, but we're going to have to find a workaround so we can keep moving. And of course, not in the best place either, because we can't really tie up here. So I'm going to take a little walk around the corner and see if I can find a better place to tie up, in case this takes a while. And this is why I brought Paz, muscles. All right, so this pesky thing's decided to, it must have perished and then it's split.
Yeah.
So we're going to have to bodge it, at least to get us through to another couple of days to where we're going, and then that'll be the first thing that gets replaced. Right, well, there's nothing for it. It's too early for a beer because it's before 11 o'clock, and we are a little bit civilised, regardless of what anyone might think. So we're making coffee in camping style because we haven't got a kettle, so we're boiling the pan. Keep Kevin caffeined up. We've got a solution. I grabbed at the last minute. We obviously brought tools, but I also grabbed at the last minute some duct tape, and randomly I had some Gorilla epoxy in one of my other little tool bags. I don't even know how I acquired it. It was just one of the things that we acquired, and it's going to come in useful because I think we'll use a combination of the two just to bodge that. It's the corner elbow of the coolant hose that's split, and there's no other way. We've got to sort of reset it and Jubilee clip it back on in the hopes that it'll hold at least until we get to Fazely. Yeah, this would be like normal practice if we were in the Philippines, though. This is what my staff used to do to fix everything. Epoxy. Yeah. Okay, so coffee next, and then once the epoxy dries, we're going to reassemble everything and then cross everything and hope for the best. I don't think we're going to make the Greyhound pub tonight, so we need to formulate plan B.
We'll find a pub.
We'll find a pub with plan B. Right, well, we've patched her up a little bit. Well, I've decided we'll leave the lid off the engine for at least the next hour, so we can, I think if anything's going to go wrong now with our patch it, bodge it, improvisation fix, it's going to happen soon. So we'll watch it for the first hour. If it goes all right, we know what we're looking out for anyway. When she split, the water was hitting the engine, which caused like vapour, obviously, because of the heat of the engine, and made it look a lot worse than it really was. So the initial panic disappeared when we realised it was just a coolant hose split and water pissing everywhere. Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, we're going to have to alter our plan maybe a little bit, but we're moving again. So every hour that we're moving in the right direction towards what will be temporary home base for Second Chance. So yeah. Eek. The thing is, if this hadn't have happened, all we would have to say is, oh, we had a few beers on first night and a few beers on the second night. It's not much of a story, but at least now a bit of drama. Although I could do without the drama. I've gone grey enough, thank you very much. Alright, fingers crossed, may the force be with us. But it's all a little bit dicey. We're having to keep really close eye on the temperature because, and we're having to, it's still leaking through where it's split, but not as obviously as bad. So we're a little bit worried. She's running about 10 to 20 degrees higher than she would do normally, and I'm not too sure how concerned I should be. So we're keeping a very close eye on it. Paz is doing the bloody locks because we can't, because we've got to nurse this boat through these 3 locks. Once we're through the next lock, there are no locks till Hawkesbury Junction, and I don't think we're going to make there today anyway. We'll make it as far as we can today, and then Kev's going to have the elbow back off again tonight, and then see if we can do a little bit better job so it seals a bit better, and we're going to see how far we can limp to tomorrow. But this is why I brought these 2 guys along. I'm a bit stressed. We pulled over for a couple of hours and decided to get some backup supplies because we weren't sure whether we would get started again. Kev's isolated a few other issues where there was air pockets in the water cooling, bled them out. We've been going now for about 10 minutes and it's not early days, it hasn't overheated yet. The leak's not as bad where we've done the patch, but it's still leaking. I'm stressed, if I'm honest. Everyone's trying to keep my head in check, but I've got to make it to Fazely. We have got extra days to do that though, really. We weren't hoping to do it by Tuesday, but if we have to take another 2 days, we could limp in a couple of hours a day in the morning, a couple of hours middle of the day, a couple of hours late in the day, hoping to limp in. But that's plan C, D and E. Let's just see how we go today. If we make rugby right now, I'm going to be tempted just to, without it overheating too badly, and we kind of know we can manage it, then there's no reason why we can't manage it in those little stints. So yeah, I mean, this is why I brought Kev along, because he can fix shit. Oh my god, I need to learn fast. Day 4. We really should yesterday have made Hawkesbury Junction, and we should have been on a lead, but as we had a coolant problem and she kept really overheating, and even though our bodge didn't really work, so we pulled in, had another barbecue, a few beers, but I had a bit of a sleepless night because Paz has known me a long time, so he knows I'm a bit stressed at the moment because I'm either happy and joking, angry, or stressed. I'm stressed, so we've done another fix on it. Well, I say we, Kev has done a fix, and there's only a slight drip now, so I'm hoping that when we get underway and under gear and the revs start going, that it doesn't re-expose itself, because we've got 16 hours over the next few days. We've got, even though we planned it to be there by Tuesday, which was tomorrow, I do have until Friday. I'd rather not limp in like that, so this is the moment of truth. Well, rather than bodge it, Elliot was on hand because he couldn't make it to Liverpool, where he was heading off for some celebrations because the trains were manic, and he was asking on our progress, and I explained we'd broken down, and I showed him the video that I showed you earlier, and he quickly researched online that there was one available at Midland Chandler's, which was 15 minutes away in an Uber. So we jumped in an Uber, shot down there, got the pot. I rang ahead because it was bank holiday and I really didn't know if they'd be open. The lady put them to one side because we weren't sure which size it would be. Got the right size, had a few beers and a meal before we came back, and then fitted the new piece, refilled it with water, but then I think because there was a lot of air still locked in the system and we hadn't given it all time to get out, we overheated again, and we got as far as here, which is just past Rugby. We have been running the engine this morning. Last night we allowed more water to get in there and air to get out. We've been running her for 20-30 minutes now, and she she isn't heating up, and there was a lot of air still bubbling out the system. And I'd be lying if I didn't say I was a bit tentative about moving right now, but we're going to go for it a little bit further, and we'll stop it. Well, we'll stop now because she's spitting water out. Shit. What was that? No, that's our...
Oh. Where's that gone? Another hose gone.
No, it's not. It's the main hose. She's come off.
Which one?
The main one we bought yesterday.
Oh, arsehole.
Oh dear. Ah, bugger. Well, the main piece that we bought yesterday has
Just
come off. Good job we weren't moving.
Yeah.
Alright, well, we've put the elbow back on, retightened it. It is a tight fit, so... And now it's been properly tightened on. We have to refill with water now and get the air back out of the system again. And then hopefully then we can sort of make a run for it. I think I'm gonna have another coffee. It's far too early for a beer. I shouldn't be stressed because I knew this was going to happen, but it's impossible not to feel it. Right, here we go again. We're filling up and bubbling away. Engine starts first time, no problems there. She sounds nice, and she doesn't seem to have any issue. We think the reason that the elbow popped off was there was an air blockage, maybe trapped possibly in that section, or we hadn't tied it on properly. But we did make it about 40 minutes down here yesterday with it on. It's back on now. Oh, please. We're on the way again. I'm still full of trepidation and stress and fear. But we called up my mate Mark at Mobile Marine in Fazely, and lovely people. They're always going to give you good advice and stuff. And I'm not, Kev's a marine engineer, but narrowboats are still something he's figuring out, usually through me and all the boats that I have that break down. And I'm learning by proxy. Mark gave us a few hints about venting the skin tank, which was probably why we weren't getting enough water into the system, which is why air was still in it, while we overheated yesterday. And touch wood, we're about 20 minutes away from where we were. We haven't got anywhere close to the heating or the temperatures that we were at yesterday after 20 minutes, 30 minutes. Dare I hope? I've got to. Rebellions are built on hope. And while I hope, I'll leave you with the montage.